Good afternoon. I'm St. Paul Mayor Melvin Carter, Melvin Carter. The city of St. Paul continues to respond to a digital security incident, as we shared with you a couple of days ago, that still involves a number of our city networks being taken down and offline. As a reminder, those networks have been taken down not by some invasive activity, but by the proactive actions of our own city cybersecurity staff, who took quick action over the course of the weekend to protect city systems, to segment city systems, to be able to ensure kind of our continuity. Our top priority from the beginning of this challenge has been, as always, the safety and security of our residents. That started with ensuring that 911 operations were able to continue. We continue to encourage St. Paul residents, as we do every single day, that if you experience an emergency or if you have an acute concern, to go ahead and call 911 with the full understanding that our St. Paul Police Department, our St. Paul Fire Department, our St. Paul paramedics are on their way, same as always. We have shared that obviously we have some systems that are down, some of those network systems that they typically rely on, they have not had access to, but from a community member perspective, those same officers are on their way. They may be getting some information that they might usually get on a screen, they might be getting it on the phone, but they're on their way the same as always. We actually believe that we are in process of addressing the situation to get them back up on a screen as well, but that's been one of our top priorities. We believe that from a data perspective, the risk of St. Paul residents, average residents who aren't city employees, who are just neighbors in a community, having some type of data being shared or breached or stolen as a result of this crime is very low. In fact, the city maintains very little data. The city doesn't have social security numbers on random residents. The city doesn't maintain that type of sensitive information on community members who don't have some type of fiscal relationship with the city in that way. I shared with you before, and it continues to be the case, while I don't have specific information to confirm that identifying information or employee payroll type of information has been accessed illegally, we also are not at the point yet where we've been able to completely rule that out, which is why we have advised our city staff to take protective measures with regard to their own digital identity and footprint. That includes resetting passwords that may be stored on their browsers, better yet, not storing passwords on their browsers, and taking protective measures regarding their own kind of financial, their own financial identity as well online. In fact, those are good. That's good advice for all of us to take, whether you're a city employee, a city resident, or just somebody watching this on television, or maybe even holding a camera today, to take this as a good reminder to go reset your passwords, to go make sure that you're, doing the best and paying attention to those reminders that I know you've gotten on your phone to say, hey, reset this password or reset that password. It's a good reminder for all of us. We are acutely reminding our city employees that it's a good time to take those precautions right now. Again, as a precautionary measure, we do not have any specific information to tell us that employee data has been stolen. But like I said, out of an abundance of caution, because we cannot rule it out, that's advice that we are providing. The continuity of city operations has been a goal. Again, actually, in some cases, we have prioritized continuity of city operations over getting our networks back up as fast as possible. For example, like I just mentioned, our 911 systems have to be operational. That's why we focused heavily on them. Another such activity is payroll. We have payroll coming up next week, and one thing that exercise is critical to every city service that we provide, ensuring that we maintain the capacity to compensate our employees for their work. Is something that's absolutely critical for our city. That presented a challenge because some of the systems that we use to track time and to process payments are hosted on those local networks that we have taken down as a precautionary measure. Our team has worked very hard. I have found myself using a new word this week, and that's manualization. Our team has worked very hard to, in real time, manualize processes that we are all used to happening automatically. Our team has worked very hard to come up with ways to use paper, to use spreadsheets, to use kind of manual processes to both track the times that our employees are working and to move that into our payroll system. So we are confident we were able to communicate to our employees citywide, as well as to our bargaining units that represent them yesterday, that our team did work very hard to ensure that we are able to keep our promises to our employees in the form of keeping payroll running on time. That's critical. That's another example of a moment in which operational continuity solution actually took a higher priority than racing to get our network systems back online. We spent the last couple of days doing things like just trying to get phones back up. Our phones operate, I think I told you the other day when we talked at our previous briefing, that many of our phones operate through a voice over internet phone system that was impacted as a part of the outages that we experienced earlier this week. Proud to have worked through our Public Works Department and through members of our communications team in the mayor's office who worked hard to get some of those phone lines back up and running so that residents who need to call about a permit application, residents who need to call our HERO department or call our mayor's office or call our Department of Safety inspections or to be able to get those highest volume phone numbers back up and running. So call the city when you need help, when you need to access city services, call the city, and that's very important. One of the most important texts that I received this week was from our library director, Maureen Hartman, who is here, who texted me to remind me that Lexi, the axolotl at Rice Street Library, is fully analog and fully available and ready to receive visitors. And on that note, there are many things that are fully analog, that are fully available and ready to receive visitors. Our beach at Phelan Lake is an amazing place to enjoy with your family. Como Zoo, as a result of this activity that we're doing this week, is just as free as it was last year and the year before that and the year before that. That's a fantastic place to enjoy with your families. We have, if you want to read a book with children, if you want to bring your children to a place to for a puppet show or to read with a dog, or Library After Dark, our St. Paul libraries are a fantastic place to do that. And just up the street later tonight, we will have music in Mears Park. Our city is alive. Our city services are active. We do continue to have back-end software challenges that we are working through, and we continue to have city employees who are committed to working through every single challenge to provide top-notch public services for every single resident. A couple of years ago, I had a lot of occasions to talk to many of you about an acute challenge that pushed us all onto our computers and away from one another. This week, we are navigating an acute challenge that's pushing us off of our computers, and that's an opportunity. That creates an opportunity for us to reconnect with one another, to get out to the zoo, to get out to the lake, to get out to the pool. And my challenge for all of our city residents, for everyone who lives in, loves to live, work, and play in this community, is to get out, to enjoy this community, and to take advantage of the maybe 4 days of sun that we have left in Minnesota, and all of the hard work that our city employees are doing to ensure that city services remain, that the continuity of city services remain, that St. Paul continues to remain a fantastic place to live, work, operate a business, play, or enjoy some great music outdoors just down the street. Thank you very much. Happy to take any questions.
Mayor Carter, can you talk about any progress that you've made in identifying who's behind this breach?
Again, what I shared earlier the other day is that my focus is completely on, again, the safety and stability of our residents and staff, and on the continuity of city services, which includes continuity of city services while we get our networks back up and pushing to get our networks back up. There are folks actively working to investigate the criminal components of this activity. That's not my primary job. jurisdiction. We have folks at literally every level of government who are working hard on that. I will be listening as closely as you will to them as they identify findings and identify folks to hold responsible. I'll be cheering them on as they do that work. I'm not able to share any specific details about either speculating on the motivations of the threat actor involved in this or the specifics of any investigation that's ongoing. My priority has been from day one the same thing that it always is: ensuring that St. Paul is a safe and stable place, and to making sure that city operations and city services are available and accessible to our residents. We don't have a specific timeline for when we'll have things up and running. Again, our Office of Technology and Communications has been working hard to make sure that we do to make sure that we do all of those investigative pieces, to do the forensic analysis of all of our systems and move forward. Obviously, we would make the problem worse by trying to race to get systems back up before we can have the surety that we need, that we can do that in a way that's that creates a secure environment to move forward in. And so our top priority is going through that forensic analysis and ensuring the efficacy and the cleanliness of all of those servers before we bring them back online. Hopefully I'll have more to share with you about that in the near future. I do not right now have a defined timeline.
Many cybersecurity experts have speculated that this is a ransomware attack because it kind of looks and acts like one. At your last briefing, you said you had not at that point received a ransom demand. Have you received a ransom demand as of now?
Again, anything regarding the threat actor or anything that involves the investigation will have to come from investigative partners at some point in time. I don't have anything to share with you about an investigation or any of those types of things. My focus has been pretty laser focused on the continuity of city operations and the safety and security for both our residents and our employees, who I know have a lot of questions around this, who have a lot of feelings of threat and vulnerability where this is concerned, which is why it's important for me to share what we do know, what we don't know. Again, starting with that assurance to our residents that for the vast majority of the people who live, work, and play in this city, we're sure that none of their personal sensitive information has been accessed through this crime, because the city doesn't, frankly, maintain any personal sensitive information on them. It's a great question. The question is why, if the city learned about the activity, and I'll say what we learned about early Friday morning is what our network staff would characterize as suspicious activity that merited investigation. We launched that into that investigative work. Did determine it to be the intentional work of a threat actor pretty quickly in the process, and so you're right, it was a couple of days before we began communicating that publicly. There's a very simple reason, and that is because as we engaged national cybersecurity experts as consultants in this work, as we engaged different partners, as we worked with our own digital security staff at the city, it became clear that there was a threat actor involved in this that may or may not have known that they were identified, that their activity was recognized in our systems, and that our city was racing to put up protective measures. We did not want to publicly communicate before we got a chance to take advantage of that opportunity. We didn't want to publicly communicate in a way that could have made the incident that we're responding to more acute by virtue of the public communications. I can only assume that the threat actor is listening to every word that we say, and we didn't want we wanted to publicly communicate as soon as we could when we were under a space that we could reasonably believe that we had set up the defenses that we wanted to set up to put ourselves in that position. The thing that made us rush to communicate when we did was the realization that there was a possibility of city employee information having been accessed. At the point where that became something that I couldn't rule out, it felt imperative to say that out loud to our city employees as soon as possible, which is why we communicated when we did.
We'll take two more questions. Mayor, could you
Sure. I'd have to get you specifics of what that specific note may have been related to. We've taken significant measures over the past several years to boost the city's cybersecurity posture. Obviously, we've seen a trend nationally and internationally of municipalities, of school districts, of schools, of health systems coming under coming under digital security incidents just like this, which is why we've taken that posture. We just a couple of years ago established a full-time chief information security officer position for the first time in our city's history. As a part of that body of work, we've stood up kind of the internal phishing campaigns to help do the to train, to educate our city staff on the threats that exist on the internet and help us boost our posture. We have boosted our multi-factor identification and some of those types of things, and we're currently in the process of a major network and infrastructure modernization effort that was launched just earlier this year to strengthen our defenses against increasingly sophisticated cybercrime. So I don't know the specifics of whatever that note was. The trajectory that we have moved, and obviously we are in the same financial environment that all of our organizations and all of our companies are in right now, and so we are constantly figuring out where opportunities to identify efficiencies within our budget. And so, that department would be subject to all the same. The trajectory that we've moved has been very significantly towards boosting as fast as we can our city's cybersecurity posture, and we'll continue to do that.
Mayor, you mentioned that payroll is coming up, and can you reassure city employees that they will receive their paychecks as normal, or how confident are you in getting that done right now?
Oh, our city employees will receive their paychecks as normal. Our leadership team made that our top priority. Again, that's a goal that we actually even prioritized above getting our networks back on. It's going to require a lot of work, and it's going to be a lot of work to do that, and it'll feel different than we did the last pay cycle. But we'll absolutely get paychecks out to our city employees this week. Failing to do that would not be acceptable.
Can you clarify what the state of emergency vote is for? What do you need this state of emergency to continue for, longer than just sort of this initial period of confusion? What is necessary to continue doing?
Yeah, we have a number of contracting processes, procurement procedures, and things like that that take time to work through. That require multiple bids and kind of different things like that, and aren't always necessarily to move forward, capable of moving forward at the speed of an emergency. And so what a declaration of emergency does is it gives our team the flexibility and the leeway to access resources when and where they need it, so that we can be flexible and entrepreneurial, so that we can possess the capacity as a city government institution to be able to move at a speed that this fluid environment that we're in right now requires. This is an incredibly fluid environment. We have had moments where we've felt like, okay, there's less activity even over the weekend, and moments where we see, all of a sudden there's more activity happening. And so being able to react in real time, to be able to respond in real time, to be able to pull down resources in real time, to be able to engage a consultant or a contractor in real time, as we have an enormous universe of cybersecurity needs that require different types of expertise from one moment to the next. The emergency declaration gives us the capacity to tap into those resources, to be entrepreneurial in real time in a way that this situation absolutely demands. Obviously, if we have a need to bring on a cybersecurity expert, and our city ordinance requires us to get 3 bids and to have a open bidding process for a certain number of days, those types of things. By the time we get that resource on board, we probably wouldn't need it anymore. So that's what that does. I'm really grateful to all of the folks who have jumped in to help us, whether that's our partnership with the county, whether that's the heroes from the Minnesota National Guard who have stepped in to help us get through this thing, whether that's the national cybersecurity experts that we've brought on board who came in literally within 24 hours of understanding that there was an active threat involved, and certainly where our citywide leadership team is concerned, and our city employees. I keep saying this. I actually look forward to fewer opportunities to say this, but one truism of my life that proves more and more true every single year, especially over the last decade or so, has been that if you have to go through a storm, there's no better crew of folks to go through it with than the men and women who work for the city of St. Paul every day. We will continue to keep you posted as we get more information. We'll continue to communicate and share with you what we know, what we don't know, what we're working on, and what we're trying to do next as we continue to go through this ordeal. And I appreciate all your coverage. Thank you very much.